am on a 210 in Northridge.
I think it's just a matter of like, being so inside that you really kind of lose perspective of the people and like lose perspective of like, what does the everyday person actually want to know from this person that I have access to? What did the everyday person actually see from the game and want to know more about? Like,
it's
what
not
is
even
it
that
actually?
deep. Pause. It's not even that deep, honestly. It's like, okay, I just asked you, how's your size going to hold up? Well, I mean, did you watch me play in college? Like, I'm the all-time leading rusher in my school's history, and I did it against top-flight talent. I played good against Oklahoma. Did you watch that? Like, I was the bell cow in that team's offense under Lane Kiffin. Did you watch that? You could just turn on my game tape and see how I performed against everybody. Did you even watch that? Oh,
Yeah.
You didn't watch any film? Oh, you just looked at my stats and just said, oh, you're just a name with a face on it? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
maybe
but
it's just me because I played football.
What you're talking about is true, but it's different. What I'm talking about is more of like a day-to-day beat type of thing. What you're talking about,
I've covered beats for sports too.
What you're talking about is more of,
trust me,
what you're talking about is more of like,
I've had to make shit soup.
What you're talking about is more of like general assignment people going to these big sporting events that are spectacles like Super Bowl and Combine without really knowing anything. So it's like,
but that was a dumb
it's
question.
kind of the same thing, but it's no. I mean, yeah,
you got
right.
measured by 5'8". Like,
it's still a dumb question, but like, yeah, it's just it's a different thing.
Maurice Jones-Drew was 5'7". How'd that work out? Pretty good.
For 4 years.
5 years. Disrespectful.
You didn't even like MJD.
First off, I loved Maurice Jones-Drew, and he went to De La Salle. He's from the Bay Area, so you
didn't like him with the Raiders.
Watch your goddamn mouth.
You slandered him like for 12 weeks
because it was bad. It was bad. He should have retired. It was bad. He stayed a little bit too long. It was bad.
And speaking of,
he should have went to a team that was actually good and had a good offensive line. It was really bad.
Speaking of insider bullshit, Mel Kiper, world-renowned draft analyst, really trailblazer, one of the first dudes to really ever do this at a high level, and really birthed draft Twitter a long time ago.
I mean, it's called a barbershop. That's where I think all that stuff started. Sports talk and barbershops.
He doesn't do sports talk. He does analysis.
I know, I'm just joking. Draft analysis.
You're just being a dick.
I am.
Anyways, Mel Kiper, for as right and as wrong, mostly wrong, he's been throughout his career. Fact of the matter is, he's done it. He's put himself out there, and he's really done it longer than anyone else.
He's had the industry behind him.
I mean, yeah, but he's also done it.
Todd McShay.
I mean, I'm not talking about accuracy. I'm talking about doing it. Right or wrong, he doesn't.
I mean, when you're put in that position and no one else is allowed to challenge you, I really don't see what's all that special about Mel Kiper Jr. I really don't.
He did it first. That's literally what's special about him. He saw how important the draft could be before anybody else was really paying mind to it.
He got it to TV first, but I don't think that he was the only person who thought like that in his time period. I think there are other people who thought like that who did get the opportunities that he got. It's the same way. It's like,
I mean, you could say that exactly. You could say that about anything.
Like, there's like
that's a tired argument. Like,
it's like
that's a tired argument.
He was just the most famous person that you know who does this. He's like the famous draft. He's the most famous draft analyst of all time. Is he the best ever? No.
He's the first draft. He's literally the first draft analyst. That's why I don't know why you're arguing this. He's literally the first draft analyst. This is not debatable. Like,
nobody else was doing it while he was doing it and just didn't get on TV. What are you telling me?
The people that were doing that sort of analysis for him, like that he does, we're doing it for teams. We're doing it for scouting.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody saw
that position existed.
Nobody saw it as
he
in
was
like
a trailblazer.
Nobody
the most famous.
Nobody saw it as something that like the common person would be interested in and want to learn and understand in terms of a media angle on it.
That's what I'm saying.
So he
didn't create that position. He is just the most famous who does that position.
All right, man. Are you
it's
done?
Elvis is famous for rock and roll, but he didn't create the shit. People love Stairway to Heaven.
That's not the same,
but Led
bro.
Zeppelin didn't actually make that song.
It's not the same.
They stole it from somebody.
It's not the same.
Okay, I just used the Led Zeppelin example. Stairway to Heaven, they stole that from a guy.
Okay, so who did Mel Kiper still draft analysis?
No,
from?
but I'm not saying he stole it from somebody. I'm just saying
But that's what
he's
you're
the
implying.
most famous. He's the most famous
he's
person.
Not. That's not what it is though.
He's
the first.
He's the first.
He's the
first that made it to TV and the most famous. But that position existed for teams, and you don't know those guys' names. Maybe they wouldn't have worked had they gotten a TV, but he worked. Therefore, yes, he is the first. He's
okay,
the most
let me
famous.
ask you something. Have you studied NFL scouting?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay, have you formally studied NFL scouting?
Formally, in what regards? I mean,
have you formally studied?
I
There
can't
is
go to
actually a school of it. You know why? Because I've gone to it.
Oh, really? Where's your certificate?
Fuck.
Where's the
Holy shit?
Where's the 4-year university?
Fuck.
Where's the degree at?
Anyways, the point is, like this.
You
like,
know what I'm
analysis,
saying, and you're choosing to disagree.
No,
with it.
but you're choosing to disagree with me.
No,
because
I'm
it's
saying,
like
I just worded it a little bit differently.
no, because you're just refusing to give somebody credit.
I just
It's
said
like,
he's the most famous.
It's like okay,
and he's like the guy for that. He's the trailblazer for that. For being a draft analyst on TV.
Yeah, but you're just saying that like
I said he's most
you're
famous.
saying that there were other people going to him. Those of which you
they were
don't
working
know
for teams.
What you don't
just
know.
said his position, what he was doing. Teams were hiring people to do. Those people just didn't make it to TV.
No, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying
that's what you said.
I'm saying scouts and analysis has always existed. The difference was Mel Kiper saw that he could do that and also translate it to the everyday level. Because as you know, there's football speak and there's regular people speak. Mel Kiper and other draft analysts like
bridge
him,
the gap.
They bridge that gap because they speak to scouts and coaches and translate it
to the masses. So he's a trailblazer in that regard.
Yes.
But he's not the first to ever do draft analysis. That's what I'm saying. There's a distinction and there's a difference. That's all I'm saying. He was the first person to scout football, but he was the first person to scout football on TV to where people can understand it.
The other thing is doing it on the TV level is different than doing it at a team level because you're looking at 32 different teams and each team needs versus when you're doing it for a team, you're doing it for that one team.
And doing a big board. That's what I'm saying. He's
he's doing 32 big boards. That's what
I'm saying.
Bro, I don't know why you're even fucking arguing this.
I'm not arguing with you.
Bro.
I'm just saying it differently.
Stupid. Even Mike Mayock who's went the opposite way, who's going from that role to going to a team, has talked about how different it is because you go from putting yourself in the shoes of 32 different GMs
to having actually be right on these picks.
To actually being accountable for what you do.
I agree with that. That's
why it's working for a team.
He's a legend, yeah.
Is different than doing it.
And this is his first ever actual NFL combine.
Yeah, because number of reasons. Number one, he never got access, which is weird
shocking,
to me.
Yeah.
Because why would you not get access? One. Two, he probably didn't need it because, like you said, he works for ESPN and they were the first people to broadcast the draft.
I think Mayock getting the job with the Raiders helped that.
Yeah, I think so too because it freed up competition.
Look, clearly what he's doing is proven you need more of this access. So now ESPN's
that's true. I didn't even think about it that way.
Now ESPN is like, well, why don't we just go live from the combine too, like NFL Network does? And now they're doing it. They're going live starting tomorrow, Friday.
I thought they've gone to the combine before.
No, they've gone there and did spot reporting, but not like live like NFL Network does, where it's a whole thing for 3 days. Like Rich Eisen is there like all weekend.
Yeah.
Now ESPN's doing it all weekend, and Mel Kiper's there. That's why it means something because they're jockeying for position. Now ESPN isn't on the outside; they have their guy on the inside now.
Makes sense.
Mike Mayock, NFL Network, and the NFL, they have a very close relationship, just based off who's worked there. Imagine Adam Schefter at the combine, 24/7, and then they break news that.
Well, Adam Schefter used to work for NFL Network.
There you go, and Antonio Brown
Back when NFL Network was respectable.
Wow, you really just said that. Okay.
I said what you go to bed thinking about every day.
Thoughts of,
and wake up to.
Pete Camarillo in this particular moment are his and his alone. Don't include Kenny in that shit. By the way, Ryan said people who like Stairway to Heaven don't really know Zeppelin anyway. Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the Teddy Pendergrass documentary where I forget the dude's name, but he actually stole all Teddy's music. Like, all the shit that you think was like the Blue Whispers or whatever their name was, that was all Teddy Pendergrass. And apparently, I don't know any Led Zeppelin songs. Cashmere's dope, though. I fuck with Cashmere. But other than that, anyway. So, yeah. Any other Combine news?
Well, last thing on the Kuipers thing that I was going to say was... Tom
and Shay going to be wrong again this year.
I mean, they're both always wrong. Everyone's
But Tom
always
McShay's
wrong.
insufferably wrong. I'll never forgive him for the Jevon Sneed shit. He had him as a first-round pick. Him going to the 7th round. He told him, like, yeah, you should totally go. No, Jevon Sneed clearly should have stayed. But he was a Texas quarterback and went to Ole Miss. And I forgave him because he actually was really good at Ole Miss. Shout out to that running back that they had, Dexter McCluster, who was a running back / receiver. Yeah, Ole Miss always has really good receivers, bro. Ole Miss is low-key wide receiver you. If we're keeping it a buck on the low, they are. They put out more receivers than USC does, and UCLA, and Oregon, and Colorado State. Hell, Boise State too.
All right. Well, you want to talk about franchise tags?
Yeah.
Actually,
the Niners franchise tag Robbie Gould, their kicker.
Yeah, which is hilarious. But I mean, kickers are hard to find. Surprisingly,
and Robbie
ask
Gould,
the Chargers.
Oh.
Ask the Raiders now. Shit. What? The Seahawks last year? The Cowboys for like 10 years? A lot of teams need kickers. Outside of that, I mean, I really expect a lot of the pass rushers to get the tag. The deadline is March 5th. For those of you who don't know what the franchise tag is, it's basically a designation that limits players, I guess, I wouldn't say rights, but
they're not allowed to. If you can't come to a agreement on a contract extension or whatever, they hit you with a franchise tag, which pretty much means they pay you equivalent to the top 5 players at your position, which makes you like you get a really high salary, but only for that 1 year.
All cash guaranteed, but only for
cash
the year.
money. But if you get injured, tear an ACL, lose an eye socket, die, that's all the money you get, and you might never
like
get that big
Ziggy
deal.
Ansah this year. Because he got the tag last year, got hurt this year.
Still had almost 10 sacks, I think.
And now he had like 4 of them in one game or something like that. But
Doesn't matter.
he had like
he still made it.
He had like I don't think
8.5.
Yeah, he had like 8.5. Yeah, that sounds more right. But yeah, so
Google it, your laptop's right there.
Outside of that, yeah, I expect a lot of the pass rushers to get
Justin
it.
Houston might get traded so the Chiefs can sign. Yeah, we're talking about the Chiefs. Shout out. I don't even want to say his name because he's such a goddamn Chiefs fan. But you know who from a certain show that comes on before us that calls himself the point guard. Yeah. Shout out to the Chiefs who are going to have to give up Justin Houston. They're going to have to probably trade him. The Raiders will probably be stupid enough to pick him up. Or the Steelers because they don't have Bud Dupree's a bust. There, I said it. Actually, Justin Houston to the Steelers might actually be a really good idea. Damn. But anyway, if that happens, I said it here first on Touchdowns and Tangents. Kenneth Frank James Berry said it. Just want you to keep that for your records. And if somebody asks you who the hell that is, I want you to slap the shit out of them. But anyway, so yeah, D Ford, they're going to have to probably trade Houston so they can pay D Ford the franchise tag. Antonio Brown, the GM, can't believe I got to talk about this story. But
bro, where are you at? What are you doing right now? You're just rambling.
No, I'm not rambling, but I'm just like I don't.
You literally are rambling
I'm disgusted
right
by
now.
the story because like